Okay.
So, hey, for those of you that just joined us, thank you. I'm glad you're here. You are right on time. We are just getting started. We're talking about what the opportunities are. We have Mr. Michael Zuber, Mr. One Rental at a Time. He is going to talk about, he does an amazing, he has the most amazing YouTube channel out there, right? He's talking about daily financial news, all kinds of tips, tricks, hacks, strategies, things that we need to do to prepare. And so, Michael, what is the opportunity right now in today's marketplace?
Yeah, we are stepping into a very interesting environment as real estate investors, real estate agents, real estate brokers, mortgage, anybody that's involved in real estate space. I think there's a couple of things that we just have to be honest with ourselves about. First and foremost, I believe if you just step back and you take yourself out of your job, but you just look back at the whole real estate and housing market, we're going to enter a depression. Well, that sounds scary. What the hell does that mean? Well, let's just be honest with ourselves. Last year in the mortgage industry, we originated $4.2 trillion. We're going to probably originate something with a 2 on it this year. That's half as much commission. If you were in the real estate industry, we did roughly, again, rounding up 7 million homes last year. We're going to probably do something with a 4 on it this year. That's a lot less commission in transactions. It just is. It's a fact. That's going to be hundreds of billions of dollars in commission, not in the system. However, what is going to happen after that? Well, we are going to see crazy articles about housing in a depression, frozen, nuclear winter, all of these crazy things. That is going to scare the average person. Nobody on this call is average. And what I want you to do, and again, for those that saw me practice this speech, I'm going to try to do it again. The most positive person I know on the planet is a guy named Adrian Hernandez. He just exudes positivity. I am lucky enough to call him a weekly expert on Wednesdays. He is there for me to help with my mindset. Even I am not nearly as positive as Adrian Hernandez. And I've gotten to the finish line and I'm not as positive as this guy. But here's the deal. Most of us, and I would argue even Adrian, needs to have this mental trick. The negativity in housing is about to go parabolic, bonkers. So what I would tell you to do is with every negative headline, you must say, there goes 2% of my competition. These 2 years, 2.5, 3 years, undoubtedly are going to crush a lot of people. But the ones that prepare, the ones that thrive, you will build amazing wealth. Warren Buffett has taught us for years. You make your money in recessions. You buy when people run away. When there's blood in the streets or whatever the saying you want to be, it is the time. Here's the reality. I think a lot of people made money the last 2 years. I think bad operators, horrible wholesalers, horrible flippers, horrible agents, horrible mortgage brokers made a lot of money the last 2 years. And you know what? Horrible operators are going to get punished, as they should. But the good ones, the great ones, oh, your time is coming. You will control more assets than ever before. You will build wealth. Your income may go down the next 2 years, but if you're doing this right, your balance sheet, your income statement from cash flow is going to go through the roof. You are going to be able to take over assets with a 2 on it. I mean, think about that. That is bonkers. That's just crazy. You take over a 30-year mortgage that has a 2 on it, man, cash flow for days. So again, I'm excited by what's coming. I'm excited for 2 reasons. 1, I have confidence in myself and I've been through recessions. I know what's coming. But 2, I'm excited because all the idiots and bad operators are going to get smoked and I'm going to be able to pick up the pieces. So I look forward to less competition and more opportunities. Let's go.
So good. So good. I love it. And we're seeing it. We're seeing it right now. How many escrows have fell out in the last 2 weeks? How many escrows fell out in the last 24 hours just because of the interest rate hike in the last 24 hours? So I love what Michael Zuber said, because the last few years have been about earning income. These next few years are going to be about growing your net worth. And that's what's really important for all of us. And if we can take that away from today's call, guys, Your net worth is going to determine everything moving forward, right? That's that cash flow. That's that on the back that nobody's really seen. It's real easy to make a couple of $100,000 if you guys haven't realized it. It's pretty easy. But how about growing a net worth to 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, $100 million? That's a different game. So good, Zuber. So good.
Michael, just one thing, like, so you talk about transactions. We're going to see transactions shift. So
No,
like, right.
No, we're going to see transactions crash. Stop it. Shift.
There you go. There you go. I know. That's a softener, huh? Shift. It's a softener.
Crash.
Okay. Keep it real. Keep it real. By how much? What, like, okay, so we're mid-year now. What's
So I think real estate transactions crash 30% this year, and they will crash 50% peak to trough. Here's the deal, folks. I say this with confidence because I've looked at the data. We have seen one time in the last 50 years where interest rates doubled. 1981. Go look at the numbers. I give the spreadsheet away, for heaven's sakes. We saw new home construction and existing home sales plummet 50% when interest rates, and it makes sense. We lost 18 million potential buyers when rates went from 3 to 6. It's math, people. Transactions are going to crash. But you know what? Some people still need to sell. Some people don't have equity. Some people have this asset called a 30-year mortgage. And you know what? Also, a lot of people that used to be cash buyers are scared. They won't. It's just, I would much rather buy in a recession than a stupid hot market. I've been buying for a long time. I can write big checks. I hate it. I don't like to do that. I can. I much rather go slow, make a couple of offers. I hate paying list price. It's an allergic reaction. I want closing costs. I want rate buy downs. You couldn't do any of that shit last 2 years. Oh man, you better believe every deal I'm getting going forward is going to be amazing. Every deal I do going forward will be better than the deal before. I did that for 5 years, from 2008-ish to almost 2012. It's amazing when you can do that deal after deal after deal. Do the work, learn your buy box, figure out average, only do great deals. If you're lucky enough to do 2, make number 2 better than 1. If you could do 3, make 3 better than 2. You and I have no idea where the bottom of this thing is. So get going, only do great deals. It's going to be awesome.
I love it. I love it. For some of us that don't, you hear buy box, and some of us may know what a buy box is, but for some of us that don't, that's new to this, what exactly is a buy box, Zuber, and how do we stick to that moving forward?
Yeah, so I'll give you my quick 2 or 3 minutes on it here, but this is such an important question. I did a 60-minute deep dive on my channel. You can find it on a playlist called Deep Dive. It's me and 3 of my students going through real life buy boxes, so you can see that video there. But a buy box is a couple of things. First off, it's a set of criteria that you're looking for. For example, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,200 square feet in a particular zip code. That's a buy box. What does a buy box give you? It gives you permission to look at that every day. And again, I mean every day. But really what it is for most of the people on this phone, I know you think you're smarter than me. It's permission to not look at anything else. A lot of real estate agents, a lot of real estate brokers, they get cocky in the beginning. They're like, okay, Michael tells me I can have 1 buy box. I'm going to have 3. Come on. In the beginning, your job is to figure out average, and you can't figure out average if you're looking at 3 buy boxes. You'll just get confused and go backwards. Once you know average, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, this zip code, 1,200, then you can add more, but don't try to outsmart the system. A buy box with focus and daily discipline, 60 days minimum, maybe 90 days. At the end of that, you should be able to tell anybody on this call, my buy box is X, and average deal is Y. You won. Once you can do that, the world's your oyster. You can go anywhere you want. So it's a buy box is permission to build confidence and learn average, and then you only write great deals from there.
Hey, Michael, Joe D here. I got a question. It's kind of a longer tail thought and on a overall broader economy question.
Mm-hmm.
My belief is that the can has been kicked down the road, not just through the COVID years, but I believe that the can was kicked down the road, probably even going back as far as the Clinton years. And then as the market started to unravel in the collapse of 08, 09,
Mhm.
the quantitative easing, the stimulate, everything else kind of artificially kept it from finding the bottom.
Mhm.
And then we obviously poured a lot more money back into the market the last couple of years. We start looking at the broader economy. People start questioning, well, how will you know that units of production and sales and things are going to drop? For me, I look at new home construction because they're a lot smarter than us. Maybe not smarter than you, however, smarter than the rest of us in the industry.
Mm.
They got analysts that are studying things all the way across. But let's talk about how
Yeah.
just slowdowns, number one, in construction, and how big companies like Walmart and et cetera missing earnings,
Mhm.
how that impacts the broader economy, and then how that trickles down into housing, just so people have an understanding of where the foundation of this belief and understanding. And I'm with you on the crash. I don't think it's going to be a gentle landing at all. I think there's going to be carnage everywhere. So
Yeah, so there's kind of three parts of this question, Joe. So I'm going to take a shot. If I miss one,
yeah,
just ask again.
okay.
So first and foremost, I think your analogy of kicking can down down the road, certainly since 2008 when quantitative easing really went into effect. If you want to go back to the .com crash, I could see that as well. I think we're splitting hairs at that point, but without question, 2008. So dead on. Why is that important? I'm going to guess a lot of people on this phone call are in California, or at least understand California as a state. If you don't know, we had horrible forest fires last year. And when we step back and ask ourselves why, it's because the Forest Service refused to clean out the underbrush for years and years and years and years and years. So when that first spark happened, the result was unavoidable. There was so much kindling and so much dead wood that we had to clean it out. So by fighting the business cycle, which I would argue we've done since 2008, maybe since 2001, the amount of kindling and underbrush, the dead zombie companies, is unfortunately pretty big. The carnage is going to be big and widespread because the forest fire has to come through and wipe people out. They have to go to zero, just like a forest fire. Now, a forest fire is very, very traumatic if you are in the flow of the fire. But as somebody who lives in the Bay Area, we obviously were inundated with smoke and debris, and we had to wear masks, not because of the virus, just because we couldn't breathe. It eventually went away. Now, if you go back up there, new trees are growing, life is coming back. We have tried to beat the business cycle for 15 years. We're done. It's going to hurt. But it too shall pass. It will probably burn itself out very quickly. It will be, and quickly in economy, just so we're clear, it's not a day, it's not a weekend, it's not a month, it's not a quarter. It's probably 3-4 quarters. So this is not a decade-long forest fire. It might be 3, it might be 6, maybe on the outside 8. But this is not a decade long. This is not the Great Depression. Right? So again, that's the first thing, kicking the can. We're going to have a bad forest fire in the economy. Zombie companies, people who are not good operators are going to get hurt as they should. That's what business cycles, that's capitalism, for heaven's sake. Stop bailing everybody out. Bad operators should go out. Second, builders. I would agree with you, Joe. Builders are really a leading indicator for housing, both going into a recession and coming out. Because if you guys don't know, builders, they're borrowing money in the most case, transactional financing, right? They have tranches. They may own the land, but the land becomes collateralized and all of that. They are so much smarter than the builders in 08. We had too many doing too many things. The builders today, the ones that survived 08, they are no fools. They are no fools. So what is happening today? I would tell you that Walmart and any builder today are doing the exact same thing. This is what Walmart says, and I want you to think home builder. Walmart built a lot of Walmart bought a lot of stuff because we were staying at home buying a lot of stuff. So they filled up their shelves. Well, guess what? The economy opened up. We started traveling. We stopped buying stuff. We started doing services. Now Walmart has a lot of things on the shelf. So Walmart does two things. One, they stop ordering. What does that mean for builders? they slow down. You are seeing builders today lay people off. They are. They're laying people off. John Burns Real Estate Consulting told us that 3 weeks ago. It is happening. And the second thing Walmart does, and builders, if they have finished product, somebody backed out, they are going to discount it because they are trying to build their cash reserves, their cash pileup. So if you or your buyers are in the market for a new build, this is your time. You probably have 3, maybe 4 months. They're going to blow stuff out. If you ever wanted to write an offer below ask on a new build, go for it. This is the time you might get a yes. But 6-9 months from now, they're going to be building a lot less stuff. They're only going to build on contract once. They're not going to take pendings. They're going to wait for approvals. It'll be a different game. And builders will just slow down. People like Ivy Zellman and all these other people are saying, we've got 1.6 million units in production. Yeah, you may have 1.6 million pads laid, but you don't have 1.6 million frames going up. So builders are going to slow down, but don't get it twisted. There will be a small window where they discount and discount hard because they want that cash back. They want out, right? They only want a small work in process. Builders will want no finished inventory. They don't want to carry that stuff. Very different than last time. So I think I got it. That's what I got, Joe.
So
Outstanding.
good, Zuber.
Thank you. Yeah, and I echo the sentiment there. What I like is, the short-term interruption, the difficulty navigating the waters, and then the ability to recognize that now the opportunities. So there's still opportunities out there. You just have to buy better. You have to buy smarter. And I think that speaks to what you said earlier about bad business people getting wiped out. People overpaying because you could are going to get eliminated. So.
Dude, I saw flippers underwriting deals at 85% of ARV. Are you freaking kidding me? And dude, the bad thing, Joe, they were rewarded because the market went up. Yep. And that's not going to work. That's not going to work today.
Nope. Agreed.
So good, Zuber. So for somebody that is in the market right now, rather that be a real estate agent, rather be a wholesaler, flipper, investor, lender, title rep, what should they, outside of the buy box, outside of focusing on what you just said, how do we move the needle forward, right? In today's market right now,
2 things.
How do we get that? How do we get that needle to move forward?
There's only 2 things that the smart people are going to do today. One is they're going to look at their tool belt and they're going to add skills. Here's a great example. I've been doing this for 20 some odd years. I have never bought pre-foreclosures. I've never marketed to pre-foreclosures. So the one and only TYLG, graciously enough, is coming on my channel and my students tomorrow to talk about pre-foreclosures. I am going to steal as much knowledge and experience from him as possible. Seek more tools, seller financing, private, hybrid, whatever. And then diversify, right? Again, if you're only in California, build your network, pass leads, pass referrals. There's only 2 things you could do in this market. Add more tools, grow your network. Add more tools, grow your network. Be a positive force, not a negative Nancy or whatever the right vocabulary is. The good ones will thrive. You will stay positive. You will say, there goes 2% of my competition. The next 2 years, 30, 40% of people in real estate gone. 30 to 40% of mortgage brokers gone. If you can survive this, your income may be down from last year. Your wealth should explode. And then, folks, I've done this before. Once your wealth explodes and you can start playing with your balance sheet for more rules and all of these things, loan products, the world opens up. It just becomes amazing. So do the work. Hybrid is the way. Grow your network. Tell everybody your buy box. I would put it in my email signature. I am buying this, this, and this. Tell everybody.
I love it, Michael. I love it, Michael. So when you say, I just want everybody to hear this. This is not, we're here to talk about opportunities, right? But we're also here to look at the truth and what's really going on. This is going to be a crash in transactions. You mentioned 30, 40%. You also mentioned 30, 40% of the realtors. So if my local MLS board has 5,000 agents, based on what you just said, Michael, what does that look like?
Oh, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, if you're
30-40%, that's going to be.
Here's the deal. Sit in a room, if you are in a room with 100 real estate agents, you could look to your left or look to your right. One of you three are going to leave the business. It's that simple.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, that in this market, Joe D and I met back in early, like mid 90s, 94, 95. And it was interesting that, it was a downtime, and during downtimes, the dot-com bubble, 9/11, which a lot of people don't talk about, but there was a hiccup for about 6 or 9 months.
Mm-hmm.
Also the Great Recession, 2007, 2008. You see the strong get stronger and the weak obviously get replaced.
Yeah, you got to watch it. Adrian tells me this all the time. It's why I'm so lucky to have him as a Wednesday expert on my series. You got to control your mindset. If you let your mind go negative 5%, you're screwed. The media is going to just feed that to you. Don't even see it. And if you do see it, mental trick, there goes 2% of my competition. Just keep moving forward. I've invested through many recessions. It is the time to build wealth. I hate markets. I hate markets where I have to decide in 7 seconds. I'd love a market where I can play with the seller for 7 days. It's just, that's the market we're going into. So be excited. You should be excited for the market that's coming, not scared. Yes, one of them's going to leave. Don't make it you.
I love it. I love it. I'm going to, a couple things that I want to share for everybody here. If you would like to ask a question of Michael, I'm going to have my brother, Joe D. He's going to ask one more question. And then we're going to go to live Q&A with everybody here. So if you have a question, all you got to do is raise your hand. You got the reaction button, or, after Joe's, he's going to ask his question. Even you can just unmute yourself and I'll call on you. So preferably, I'd love to see you raise your hand. So Joe, one more question from Joe, and then we're going to go live Q&A.
So Michael, what you talked about the going from 7 seconds to playing with the seller to 7 days, dude, I absolutely love that. I feel, as from an agent standpoint, I bring my best value when I can utilize time as part of the equation, right?
Exactly.
And as an investor, the absolute same exact scenario, what you can create, that's a skill, right? That's a skill. That's a mindset. I want to talk about how to create patience, right? Not becoming a patient, but how to create patience to be able to work a process to make a deal and just improve it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd love to hear your thoughts on that, because
Yes.
7 days, absolutely, because somebody's going to fold in that 7 days. Probably not even going to take 7 days for most people to fold, whether that's the agent or the client or the prospect. But go ahead.
Yeah, this is a beautiful thing. Because I got to tell you, I've been doing this 22 years. The last 2 years were bananas. It was the most crazy, insane market I've ever seen. And that's coming from a guy that was buying before the last crash, which was still a nutty market. This blew it away. So really what this is coming to is, I would tell everybody to throw away the experience of the last 2 years. Just throw it away, right? Or better yet, it's a tool, put it in your tool belt. If we ever come back to a crazy market, you have that experience. But it is irrelevant and frankly hurtful in the next 2 years. What do I mean by that? Well, the last 2 years probably taught you that speed and cash were important. Well, those still work. It's not like they don't work, but as an investor, that's not always the best return. I don't get the best cash on cash return when I act that way. And that's my job, right? I don't have endless piles of capital. I have to deploy my capital most efficient and get the best return possible. And that's what's coming. So what I will be doing, there are and again, I share everything I'm doing. So I had a search, Joe, for the last 2 years that was only first day listings. I have thrown that away. I've deleted it. I will not look at any first day listings. I was interviewed by Business Insider about a month ago, and my search was now 15 days. I have since changed that to 30 days. I will not look at a listing until it's 30 days old. I don't care. I am trying to find that motivated seller, and they're hiding in there somewhere. So the first thing you do is you got to change your mindset. I would tell any investor, don't even look at first day listings. They're irrelevant. If some FHA buyer wants to pay list price, let them go nuts. I'm not playing there. So that's step number one. Step number two, in the past, your offers all had to be cash, 12-day close, waive inspections, throw it away. What I'm doing second is I am, generally speaking, writing 2 offers. 2. I am going to write a cash offer at a substantial discount. And then I will probably write an offer with terms. And the terms will be based on how much equity the seller has. And the terms offer will be, shockingly, a higher price, but my total debt payments, because how I structure the first and second, will be lower. And I will let the seller choose. If you're a real estate agent, you have to get, if you're representing buyers, you have to get good at fishing for seller interest, seller motivation. We have been trained for 2 years that price is the only motivation. In the upcoming market, price will always be important, but there's probably something else behind that. So we have to ask deeper questions. Frankly, my experience with agents over the last 2 years, because the market was nutty, we got a little lazy. We didn't probe. We didn't build. We didn't ask questions because we had to react. 7 seconds, 7 seconds, 7 seconds. The market's coming to us as investors. And frankly, this is going to sound bad, but I really believe it. I hope none of my offers are just accepted the first time, because it probably means I overpaid. I don't want any of my offers just accepted. I want counters. I mean, yeah, if somebody accepts my first offer, that's a problem. So those are my thoughts.
Hey, Michael, I want to pile in on that. Is that by the way, that was spectacular, but I love what you said about the 30-day tired inventory. So from an investor perspective, absolutely makes sense. Now, for anybody out there that's still operating as an agent and you're looking at your retail, that's the conversation you need to have when you're listing the property, right? So I took one of the agents on my team with me on a listing on Thursday, which I haven't taken him on one in forever because there wasn't a whole lot. Like, yeah, what do you want? Okay, signed, let's go. We put it for sale. Let's go.
Signed, done, get by the machine, we're done.
Right. And he had asked me when we left, he's like, man, he goes, I haven't been on an appointment with you in a while. You really let the sellers talk a lot more than what I remember. And what I said to him, as I said, all I'm doing is finding all the leverage points, because if I'm walking out of there with a listing, it has to be priced to move. It has to be staged. It has to be dialed in. And so the same thing, if you're not getting that, then you got to start thinking, who are the investors you're going to call in 30, 45 days when nobody wants it and still be able to get paid? And I'm assuming, Michael, if it fits in your buy box, we could put you on that list.
Absolutely. I actually have done video. I'm going to do a video probably every other week telling every real estate agent that represents buyers in Fresno and Madera City, bring me every deal. You'll get both sides. I probably even offer $1,000 bonus paid on the side if you want. I don't care. If the deal makes sense for my 50, 40, 10 seller financing, I will buy every single one. I've got millions of dollars to deploy and access to millions more.
Perfect. All right, Ty, I'm turning it back to you.
Oh, Ty, you're on mute, bud. There he is.
So I love it. Great answers, great questions. We're going to go to the live Q&A now. If you have questions, just like Angel, just like Terriel, you can raise your hand on the reaction button. If you're driving or in the car, that's okay. We'll go through, raise your hand, wave me down. I'll make sure to call on you. Angel, go for it.
Michael, thanks for joining us today, man. You're dropping some fire, dude. I'm just taking notes. And you're dropping some solid fire. But one of my questions is with regards to buy box. You know, what are 1 or 2 biggest traps that you see that can quickly turn your buy box or your deal into an alligator that you're noticing, like, oh shoot, I have my regular buy box, but because of what's going on right now, you know what? I'm going to add these 1 or 2 things on top of that to make sure I'm not in an alligator situation.
Yeah, the number one thing today is, unfortunately, people aren't adjusting for rising rates, right? A lot of people we've seen a doubling of interest rates in about 100 days. It's only happened one other time. So if you're running your numbers with a 4% mortgage and then you go to close and you're getting a 6.25%, that's going to hurt. So do yourself a favor as an investor, make sure you have the cost of capital correct, because if you have that too low, you're going to think you have a great deal and all you're doing is adding an alligator. That's not good. And then the second, I've seen some bad assumptions on rent. This is not so much in houses, but on units. If you make an unrealistic rent assumption, like, hey, I'm going to buy this low and I'm going to raise rents, I'm going to add granite countertops, and you over improve, but you don't get the rent, that could be a problem. So I would be conservative on rent and always nail your cost of capital.
Love it. Great question and with a great answer. Let's go to Terriel. You're up, bud.
Thank you, Ty. Mike, always, yeah, Angela's absolutely right. Anytime you speak, it's just like now I'm driving and I'm like, I gotta rewatch this because there's so many nuggets that I dropped that I'm gonna be using in my offers. That just like blows my mind every time for all the years that I know you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So my question is this. So you said that you give a seller double offer and you drop something that you didn't elaborate on. You said, but based on their equity. So the question is, what exactly are you looking for, if you don't mind sharing that, or just maybe in general terms? And the second, like, if it's an equity, I think it's time to talk seller financing as well, right?
Exactly.
So can you elaborate a little bit that?
Yeah. So here's an example, Terriel. For the first time, I am doing direct mail. I don't know if you can see this. It says housing crash coming. I'm still buying. I generate a list out of PropStream. Everybody who has a duplex through a quad in my market that has 50% equity or more. I'm going to be sending this mailer for the next 6 months minimum, once a month. It's going to cost me $1,000 a month. And I'm fishing for seller financing. I'm fishing for something I call the 50-40-10. So what does that mean? Well, that means I can get a non-QM loan for 50%. I'm asking the seller to cover 40, and I'll bring 10%. Think about it. I'm going to buy a fourplex with only 10% of my money. I'm going to get a blended interest rate, probably in the 4s, maybe in the 3s. And I'm going to cash flow like a freaking monster. So yes, the equity is important because sometimes a lot of new people go, oh, I'm going to do seller financing. And then they go to the first person they see and they don't realize they've got like 4% equity. Seller financing doesn't work when they got 4% equity. Something else in creative financing might work, but not seller financing. So I am deciding to market to people that have 50% equity or more, duplex through quads, because I want to play in resident. I will only get 30-year fixed rate mortgage. I do not want to play in this stupid commercial market today that's going to blow up next year or the year after. I will once again 1031 into apartments, but I'm not buying today. Some of that stuff has been bought with stupid cap rates, bridge financing, bad assumptions. It is going to blow up, but that's next year, the year after. I'm going to buy residential properties with 30-year fixed rate financing and get as much seller financing as I can.
I love it. I love it. Great question and great answer. I love it. I love it. So let's go to Nina. You have to unmute. Are you able to unmute?
Yeah. There we go.
There she is. Hi, Nina.
Hey there. Hi, Ty. And Michael Zuber, I've been watching you and so excited that I saw this morning. So I also had that same question. What was the 50, 40, and 10? Mm-hmm. So I actually have a very specific, I have an offer right now I'm trying to figure out. Mm-hmm. And the seller's open to owner financing. He says he'll do part of it. Okay. So the 220 is the price. Okay. And so I am wondering, it needs a medium rehab. It's in Atlanta, Georgia. We've been just looking at it for about a week with this elephant challenge.
What's a medium? Is that like 40 grand? What's a medium remodel?
No, I think it'll be more like 60 or so.
Okay, I'm just trying to get some basic numbers.
Yeah.
Okay, so purchase 220, 60K. What do you think the ARV is?
I think the ARV is about, I'd say between 280, 300, maybe a little higher.
Now, are you thinking this is a rental or what are you thinking this is?
Probably it was, the house actually was a rental, and it's 3.5 miles from the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta on a quiet street. So it could be a rental, it could be an Airbnb, possibly.
What would it be for you?
That is a good question. I don't know people there yet. I'm just getting started in Airbnb in Spokane, Washington. I'm out in Seattle.
Okay.
So I am not sure.
Okay. So are you thinking you'd wholesale this to someone else, or what are we thinking you would
Well,
do?
I don't know that I can actually.
Okay.
If they seller finance, I mean, they're open to seller finance. Can I actually, if I don't have a buyer right now, I would have to find one, because I don't think they want a wholesaler, you know?
Yeah, again, I'll let you work that with Adrian and Ty. I was just trying to figure out how you're going to get paid on this. But let's just run the numbers like this was in Spokane, right?
Okay.
It doesn't matter where it is, right? Atlanta or Mountain View, it doesn't matter. So what I heard you say, 220K purchase,
Yes.
60K in remodel,
Yep.
ARV is 280. So there's no margin. You're not getting a deal.
Okay.
Right? You
So
see that?
unless, what would it have to be if it was at
Well, that's okay. I'm just
50?
that wasn't a statement yet. That was a question of fact. That's what you gave me, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's assume you want to make this a rental,
Yes.
which means you want it to cash flow.
Right.
Let's assume that the seller is fixated on 280. Let's just assume you can't get them down. You've tried every trick in the book, blah, 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 blah. Or I'm
What do
sorry,
you-
220, 220. Sorry.
Okay.
My bad, 220.
That's okay.
So what I have done this before.
Okay.
In my opinion, this seller is asking you to overpay.
Yes.
What I would do is I would go, you know what? I really don't want to do this, but I like the deal. I want this house. It's close to this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I can overpay, but only this way. What
Okay.
I'm going to do for you is I'm going to give you $20,000 down.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to carry a note at $200,000 note at 1% interest, 30 years fully amortized, or at 1% interest only for 10 years, whatever you're comfortable with.
Yeah.
Basically, Nina, what you need to do is you need to create a cash flow monster.
Okay.
That's the only way this deal makes sense. So I did this once for a guy about a decade ago in Fresno.
Okay.
The story was actually worse. He had a 100K house that he
Mhm.
wanted 124. I
Okay.
couldn't get him down. I tried every trick in the book, every trick.
Mhm.
And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to take a shot in the dark. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? I will give you 120. I'm going to give you $10,000. I think I gave him 20 grand.
Okay.
And I had him give me a 30-year loan at 1% interest. He said yes in a minute. He was fixated on 120.
That
I
price.
guarantee you, Nina, he told all his golfing buddies that he got this dumb Silicon Valley kid to overpay for this crappy Fresno house.
Yeah.
And he never told anybody that he gave me a 1% 30-year mortgage.
Right.
I crushed him.
Yeah.
I buy and hold. I hold it forever. I don't give a rat's ass that this guy that thinks he got me for 20 grand.
Yeah.
Dude, that
Yeah.
thing cash flows like nuts.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. I would go in because, again, there's no room. There's no meat on the bone. And I would tell him that.
Yeah.
And I would say, there's only one way this works.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a little cash now, but you're going to give me a great, I would ask for 30-year carry and negotiate down. But that's
Okay.
probably what I would do with a deal like that.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. That sounds great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Good luck.
Cash flow monster.
There
Woohoo.
you go.
I love it. I love it. Does anyone else have questions? I want to just see, like, maybe somebody who was not able to raise their hand, but just unmute yourself and fire your question.
Again, guys, your quality of your business and your life is in direct correlation to the quality of questions you ask yourself. And a lot of you, I see the listings you're taking, you should be buying those. So if you don't know how to buy them, if you don't know how to structure them, now is the time to ask.
Go for it. We're going to go back to Angel. Angel always has great questions, and then we'll go to Terriel again. I love these guys always, I love the great questions. Go for it, Angel.
So, Mike, you have your show and you got this guy Lumberjack. I don't know what his name is, but he goes
Matt.
on there with you,
Mhm.
and he's great. I love the stuff that he shares. And you guys talk about transactions taking a dive, right? Transactions being something that is an issue or is happening. And so, how do you compare the transactions that we see now when you compare it, obviously, to prior month or a prior year? And you compare them to a 2019, timeline or a 2017 timeline, a 2018, when we're not having a recession, when we're not having COVID, and we're not having, you know, all the stuff that we're having now, you know what, how do you compare those timelines in today's market versus those markets in relation to transactions?
Yeah, so I'd have to go back. I have the data. I don't remember them off the top of my head. So first off, 20 and 2021 are those caffeine sugar high years where we did 6.9 and 6.7 transactions. That's not trend. I believe trend is closer to 5.8 to 6 million, but again, I'd have to go back and look. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go below that for a couple of years, basically make up the meaning. It's called regression to the mean. So the last 2 years we were above, the next 2 years below, but when you average them out, we're about 6 million or 5.8 or whatever the trend is. I just think we have a couple of years of pain to make up for a couple of years of gain.
Well, Mike, I'm going to pile in on that and just talk about why, right? When people have cheap money, what's the incentive to move?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah. Dude, I did an interview with Fortune magazine that's on my channel yesterday at 7 o'clock. I blew his mind away with the concept that the Fed broke housing. You could see him fighting me. And then I told him the story and he's like, holy shit, you're right.
You're right.
Oh, by the way, I am that guy. I bought a house in Cincinnati after leaving New York. I should have bought another bedroom. My wife's pregnant. I said, guess what? You're going to buy bunk beds. She said, hell yeah, I'm buying bunk beds. I'm not moving. I'm like, thank you very much. The Fed broke housing. And he was like,
ha.
So
Love it.
on top of the statistical analysis, I always look for human behavior, Michael. It's a simple repeating thing. If somebody's moving today, and let's just say they're downsizing from a big 2-story, and they're moving into a single story, oftentimes from a price perspective, that's a lateral price move, right? Because a lot of times your single stories are going to be a higher price per square foot than a larger 2-story.
Sure.
But if they have any kind of debt on that, what happens to the payment?
Dude, I have done the math for 20, maybe 25 baby boomers looking to downsize, and I have yet to find one where their payment goes down. Most of them are trading down. Forget this lateral thing. They're trading down, might be newer, but down, and their payment goes up. They're like, screw it, I'm staying. I'm like, Fed broke housing.
And property taxes in California, because now they get a whole nother reassessment, and they could be like, for old properties, we own, you own, like the taxes are really low based on Prop 13.
You got it.
So amazing. Let's go to Terriel. Terriel, you had another question, brother, and then we're gonna
Yes, sir.
go for it.
Thank you, Ty. So my other question, Michael, so let's go back to the commercial market, the multifamily owners 2 to 4 and the cash flow. What do you see in that market? What do you see happening with the cash flow? What do you see happening with their values? And because I'm talking to a lot of multifamily owners, just like investors, and all of them are thinking about dumping their worst properties right now. They're still kind of in that mode. Can you elaborate on that a little bit and your opinion in general, buying that stuff?
So I want to make sure I heard you, because I heard two different words, Terriel. You said 2 through 4s, and then you said commercial. Those are different animals, as you know. Which one do you ask?
Sorry. The 2 to 4s, you were talking about it. I'm just talking about, let's say we're talking about 10-unit apartment complexes.
So truly commercial.
30 unit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually think there's a lot of pain coming to commercial for lots of reasons. If you were paying attention to why I'm looking at 2 through 4s, it's because I get 30-year debt. You guys may not know this, but commercial debt is variable. It's 5-7 years. It's 25-year AM, not 30. And there's a lot of people that did deals on bridge debt. Dude, Terriel, you've been around for a while. I am seeing the same type of stupid loan decisions that we had in the Great Recession. Do you guys know why the Great Recession happened? It's because people had bad loans, 2 and 28s. We had 50% ARMs. It was supposed to blow up. It had to blow up. Now we have commercial lenders doing the same dumb things. And yeah, I expect a lot of people to dump. What's really going to be interesting is, I don't know if you guys know this. Why am I focused on residential? Because even if my properties fall 50%, they can't call the loan. You're in a commercial property and the asset value falls, they can call the loan. They can call the loan. Wipe out your LPs. The commercial market don't play. it's about to get ugly. I think it's delayed because if you got bridge debt a year ago, you still have a 1-year option. So it's probably 12 months out, but it's coming. If you owned a bunch of like 5s through 50s, you'd be a fool not to try to dump some of those because you got to raise capital because you got some big checks to write because you don't want to lose everything.
Very, very interesting times, folks. Lots of opportunity with new skills comes lots of opportunity, not just to make a lot of money, but to create wealth. So I want to pass it over to Adrian. I hope that this information is digesting for you well. Adrian?
Yeah, guys. So, as you know, we're going to be diving deep into this August 11th, 12th, and 13th in Irvine, California, at the Marriott. How many of you are registered for the event? Just by a show of hands. And you guys registered for the event? You guys are going? All right, cool. I know most of you, I'm looking on the screen. I know most of you guys are registered, and you guys, we put something really special together for all of you, especially for this call. But before we get into it, I'm just curious. I mean, do any of you guys have any other questions about how to grow your current income and or your net worth, whether that be getting listings sold, getting buyers into escrow, buying deals, flipping, wholesaling, whatever the case may be? We really want to make sure that you are served on this call. So if you are afraid to speak up and you have a question, I want to encourage you to take the step forward and ask the question now. Is there anybody that has any unanswered questions? Just by a show of hands, all you guys got to do is click the reaction and click that little raise hand button, and or just unmute yourself. Anyone at all? If we disappeared off the planet of the Earth and we were abducted by aliens and we were gone for the next 3 years, is there any questions that you may have, right? You couldn't ask a question. Any questions you may have?
So KT has a question in the chat, and she wanted to ask Michael to repeat a description of the 50-40-10, assuming that we've never heard of it. What is the 50-40-10, Michael?
Yeah, so the 50-40-10 is a loan product that I developed with one of my non-QM lenders. A 50-40-10 banks on what's called combined loan to value. It's called CLTV. So that means there's 2 loans. 50% first, non-QM lender. 40% second, seller. 10% down. The 50-40-10 is extremely valuable because I can get into deals with 10% instead of 25. And most importantly, as a cash flow hunter, I can get my blended interest rate sub 4% because I can get the seller to take whatever rate we agree to. So that's the 50-40-10. And again, I have a 90-minute deep dive where we answer dozens and dozens of questions with my non-QM lender on my playlist called Deep Dives. We've already given that away for free.
I love it. Thank you, Michael. Great question too, KT.
Yes, on YouTube. Yes.
Huge. Tony, looks like you got a question, Tony. Go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yeah. Hi, guys. Thanks for this Zoom. This is awesome. Incredible information. I follow all of you. Just a quick background. I'm a newish within the last about 45 days, sub 2 student, Pace Morby's nice. sub two community. Right on. So one question, I don't want to personally get lost in the whatever the word is, the minutia of multiple roads someone as a new investor could go down. My primary goal is to pick an avenue and just go hard on it as best I can. In your opinion, any of the 3 of you, if you were to say, hey, I would just focus right here and go hard on that right now, put all your effort into that, all your focus, all your energy, what might that be? For me right now, I've thought I'm going to go hard into, marketing and reaching out, door knocking, cold calling, foreclosures. But I'm also, I was part of this elephant challenge that Pace put together. I have had Privy as a tool to use, and I think that's a great tool. So I'm doing a lot of agent outreach. Those are my two main things I'm focusing on, but I'm open to suggestions.
I have one question because I don't know the answer. This will guide my answer. What are you trying to achieve? Are you trying to generate income or chunks of money? Are you trying to buy assets and build wealth? I don't know what you're trying to do yet, so I don't know what to answer.
Sure. Short term, right now, from today through the next, I'd say 6 months, I would like to generate income. And I guess from my limited understanding, that would involve my best bet to do that. I imagine, again, not sure. That's why I'm asking the question. Is to wholesale deals, get in, get out, make a few $1,000s.
I think that's
and
right.
then long term, it's to do exactly what you guys are talking about here, build wealth for my family.
Okay.
So I would be looking at more buy and hold, long term.
But that's later. That's step 2.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think there's a couple of things that I'll let Adrian and Ty go first. I've been talking a lot. You guys want to throw down first?
Yeah,
Or Joe? Yeah.
I'll just jump in and say that for sure, direct to seller skill sets are very valuable. And so, the door knocking, the cold calling, some people using like text platforms, but ultimately, even with the text platform, at some point you're getting voice to voice with them. That's where you're going to become a stronger operator. And not only that, but also I believe the fastest path to cash, to where you can get your first deal, wholesale, flip, whatever that case may be, and eventually grow into where you can leverage agent relationships, other wholesalers, whatever that may look like. Adrian or Joe?
I would say my biggest advice is just to really grow your skill set. What's going to be the determining factor over these next couple of years, I would say, or these couple of months, if we put it in a short-term perspective, is going to be your skill set. The skill set is what's going to separate you, even on an outreach call, right? I know when someone calls me, we own a brokerage, and if someone calls me and they're looking for a deal, why do I stay on the phone with that person? It's because they're showing a skill set that is different than everybody else. I got a call yesterday. Hi, is this Adrian? This is Adrian. You Googled me, right? I'm not going to tell them that, but I'm like, oh, yes. And, well, how are you doing? What's up? What's going on? Right? Get to the point. Oh, well, I'm just wondering, I got this deal, and, that's not skill set. That the whole from the beginning to the first 2 minutes of the call, I'm like, get to the damn point. I literally almost hung up, right? So what I would say is it's the skill set. Now, when I get an agent on the phone, they're like, Adrian, dude, I got a deal. It's blah, it's this. You can make this. This is the profit margin. This is where it's at. Where are you? What are you looking for? How do I help you solve your problem? That's the person that I want to talk to. So for everybody on this call, and not just you, Tony, but for everybody that's listening, we got to get very good at our skill set. We have to learn how to be able to what's going to separate you from everyone else is your ability to communicate differently than everybody else on that call. So that's the number one skill set that I would tell you. The number one thing I would tell you would be the skill set. And then number 2 would be to get in front of as many people as humanly possible, whether that be sellers, whether that be agents, whether that be, I don't care who it is. You just need to find a way to make 50, 60, 70, 100 contacts every single day on top of the skill set, and eventually the compound effect will work in your favor.
Okay, awesome. Great, thank you.
Joe D, you got anything to add to that?
No, I would echo exactly, have that strong buy box so you're clear on what you're looking for, have the tools in place and the ability to outreach people. And it is all about your ability to convert. I put every telemarketer that calls on speakerphone so that the sales team around me can learn how bad most are. And these are people that are calling me about my rental properties. They're always like, would you be interested in a cash offer? I'm like, absolutely. Let's see what you got. Right. And so usually they're blown up in less than 30 seconds because they're stumbling over their words. So yeah, I would go right behind that. Your ability, it was told to me this way. Your skills and the level of your skills are revealed at the time when you're under the most compression, right? So why is Michael Jordan, Tiger Woods, Tom Brady, like the elite athletes always winning championships? It's because when the game really matters, that their skills are there and they rise to the top. Everybody's good when the market's good. Everybody can convert when things are easy and you got to lay down. It's when it gets tough, when you got to have a hard conversation with somebody to get them into reality. And if you're buying property and you're sitting with somebody and they're hesitant on what the number is, yet they're motivated to do it, the skillful person walks out with the deal. The unskilled person leaves just as broke as when they arrived.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you.
So good, Joe. So
So
good.
spot on. It's such, what a great question. Thank you, Tony, for that. I just want to say that great question. Michael Zuber, we want to hear your answer.
Oh, I mean, I can't add anything to that, so I'll just take a left turn and try to give you this piece, Tony. One of the things that I think a lot of kind of new-ish investors that are looking to build chunk money, they get lost, where they're basically trying to do a lot of things, right? You talked about getting your lane, which I think is brilliant. One thing you might want to add to that is you might want to identify 3 or 4 strong buyers, and then you might want to ask them their buy box. Because if you can find 2 or 3 buyers that have similar buy boxes, what I would tell you to do then, Tony, is market to that buy box.
Mhm.
Because that'll not only you will start to learn the market, you start to figure out what average is, and you've already solved part of the problem. You already have 2 buyers on the back end.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Instead of, because what I've seen unfortunately happen a couple of times is, Tony, you're going out.
Wait a second.
And you stumble across the deal. And it is a deal, but you don't have a buyer on the back end, and then you just burn everything, and then you lost hope. So
Yes.
what I would tell you to do up front, if you can, is actually practice by talking to buyers. What do you want? What are you not looking for? What is a bad deal? Because that's an easier conversation, right? Talking to sellers or owners the first time is nerve-wracking. Talking to a buyer, simple.
Yeah, great point.
So practice on the easy.
Yeah.
So good.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Great answer, Zuber. And for everybody, I want you guys to really understand, we're going to start to transition into your skill set is going to be revolved around your ability to comp out that property, your ability to sell the property. Acquisitions is going to get a lot easier. Getting deals under contract I believe is going to be easier. Getting it sold is what's going to be harder, because there's going to be 1,000 listings for sale and only a handful of them are going to sell. And what's going to be the difference? And that's going to be your skill set. And for wholesalers that are listening, your ability for acquisitions is not the game anymore. Your ability for dispositions is the game. And there's going to be a big transitions from acquisitions to dispositions in these next couple of months. In fact, we're already seeing it. So just keep an eye on that.
Spot on. Adrian, I think it's bring it home. Let's talk about what we're doing in August. Let's talk about the event, and maybe I think there's definitely a lot of people here that should join us.
So you guys, what we have for you is we have a lineup of the best of the best. We have Thatch Nguyen, we got Kevin Sturdivant, we got Michael Zuber himself, we got Jeff Quinn, and of course the God.
You went on mute, bud.
There we go. You're back.
All right, cool. And then we got the Godfathers himself, Mr. Tyler Young Guerrero and Joe D. Raffaele, you guys. This is going down August 11th and 12th in Irvine, California. And what we're going to do, we're going to extend this promotion. So we actually spoke, we were going to cut this off, but we knew we were having this webinar. So we decided to extend the promotion to you guys. Just so you know, we literally have a handful of tickets left. We opened up a back row just for this webinar. So if you're going to participate, you guys, we have a general admission ticket. Use the promo code event300. It's going to get you a $300 ticket. And that is in Irvine, California. Not only are we going to talk about what you need to do to dominate in this market, not only are we going to talk about what you need to look for, how you need to grow your net worth, but Jeff, Michael, Kevin, Thatch, Joe, myself, and Ty, we're going to break down a format, a plan for you to follow over these next couple of months to really help you elevate in this game, guys. We know this. Warren Buffett has a quote: when the building's on fire and everybody's running out, he's running in. And we want to help you run in with the right tactics. Okay. So this is how it works. So if you guys want a general admission ticket, guys, it's right up front, event 300. It's super simple. All you got to do is go to buy now. And when you check out, you'll see a promo code at the top. And then we're also going to extend the diamond. Now, what is diamond? You get an upfront seat, you get a swag bag, you get the recording of the event, you get a private lunch, you get an in-office tour. This is big. Saturday the 13th. Everyone's coming down to Dana Point, California, right here in the harbor. We're going to walk through my office. We have 2 different offices. We're going to split everybody up, and we are going to help you create your plan. We're going to give you everything you need. By the time you walk out of this weekend, you are going to know not just what it takes to increase your income, but what it's going to take to increase your net worth. Okay. So you're going to use event 25 if you want 25% off diamond. And then we got something really special for you guys. We only have 1 ticket available. And this is what's called Diamond Premier. You get a diamond ticket, you get a king bed room at the venue. So your room is taken care of, you get dinner, you get lunch, you get a one-on-one coaching call with yours truly, and you get a group coaching call with all of us. A one-on-one group coaching call with all of us where we're gonna break down your business and help you really launch forward in this game, guys. Now, it's only $3,000. It's really nothing when you take into consideration the event and everything that you're paying for. I mean, the room alone is $1,000, right? We only have 1 ticket available. So if you are interested in Diamond Premier, I need you to put in the chat Diamond Premier and your phone number, and I will call you. Okay, I'll give you a call and we'll get you guys wrapped up. We got like 1 back row available. So if you guys want to join, I suggest that you guys buy your ticket now. And you guys, I want to let you know, I've been to a lot of events. I've spent hundreds and thousands of dollars on events every year. I mean, I just dropped 60,000 on the last event. Every year we spend multiple 6 figures. I don't tell you that to impress you. I tell you that to impress upon you that the rooms that you get in, the people that you network with, the people that you speak to, you are only 1 conversation, 1 relationship, 1 network away from completely changing your entire life. I know that's what happened to me, and I hope that it can happen for you. It's real simple, guys. All you guys got to do is go to rehybridevent.com and sign up. This is not a fluff event. We're not going to have a bunch of speakers up there pitching you on buying the next product. We're going to give you what you need to do to move the needle forward. And we hope to see you all there. Any remarks, Joe or Ty?
I just want to say, I know a lot. I think about 1/3, maybe half the people here have already bought tickets or are involved with us in other programs. So I'm just super excited to see everybody. Can't believe we're actually like 10 days away, something like that, 12 days away. So it's just right around the corner. If you know anything about us, you know that we always bring our very best. We just like this call. This was just a little drop in the bucket, like just a little tiny drop of what we're going to talk about. We are going to go deep, and just super excited to see everybody. So if you have not bought your ticket, buy your ticket now. Join us. No BS. The tickets will sell out because we've got to get a final head count to the hotel for the room, for the lunches, for the event itself. So if you are going to buy a ticket, buy it now.
Hey, Ty, can I just share something real quick? Yeah, I'm so inspired. Like, thank you guys for all the information. It's definitely very useful for what we got going on right now in this shifting market. Me as an agent, wholesaler, taking upon the hybrid model has been a life-changing experience for me. So much so that, it's allowed me to be in a position where I have colleagues and different things of that sort that are not in a financial position to be able to buy the tickets, right? So I'm going to go ahead and buy a couple of tickets for some good friends of mine that I know are going to put this to use first and foremost. And I know God is going to take care of me in one way, shape, or form, right? And there's a book that I read. It's called Warrior of the Light. And the Warrior of the Light helps others because he also knows it's a way of helping himself. So that's my motto. And I just want to say thank you guys for everything you guys have done.
So big. So Ali, real quick, just because I have you here on the call, you mentioned, you joined us 2 years ago. How many $100,000 months have you had? Because I know, we set a goal. You set a goal recently, and you achieved it. And I just want to put some, you're a prime testament to somebody who takes the knowledge, runs with it, implements it, and then changes their entire business. So just real quick, just break it down, not too lengthy, because I know that you've had the projection of where you have gone is just so big, brother, but just give us it in some cliff notes.
Yeah, it's just that added, the same things that we do as me as a licensed agent. It's just an extra question that we ask. Are you open to seller financing? Are you open to an all cash offer with no commissions? And then being able to know how to navigate that and be able to reach out to people like you and Ty to, faith it till you make it, right? Act like I know how to do the seller finances and get connected with Ty. Hey, how can we both make money together? But to put it into perspective, I always thought $100,000 months were years in front of me. I've probably had about 4 to 5 of them within the last 2 years. At this point in time right now, as a matter of fact, I got about 160 in escrow right now, and with another offer getting accepted today. That's between buyers, listings, and wholesale deals. All 3 of those, it all mixed in.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's not the strongest or the most intelligent that survives, but it is the one that is most adaptive to change. And this market is changing, and I hope that you can adapt with it. And if you don't know how to adapt, I suggest that you get to the event, and we're going to give you the tools and the tactics that you need to adapt and change in this real estate economy. It is no longer a matter of it is a matter of I need to.
I love it. Great job, Ali. Great job, Adrian. Michael Zuber, thank you for being here. Joe DeRaffaele, thank you for being here. Everybody here, thank you for your time and attention. Go out and do something with this information. Make money, buy your ticket, come to Evo, come to our RE hybrid event. We're looking forward to seeing you here in the next couple of weeks. Have a great day. Have a great Friday, everybody.
Hold on, Ty. We have a ticket to give away. We got a ticket to give away.
Oh, we got a giveaway. Let's do it.
We got a giveaway. So real quick, let me, I'm going to spin the wheel here. I'm going to spin the wheel. We only had a handful of people, right? We only had a handful of people.
Share your screen.
All right, hold on real quick. I'm going to completely redo this. I noticed that a lot of people that saw this were already registered for the event. So a lot of you that follow me on Instagram, you guys were already registered for the event. So what we're going to do is there was only a handful of you, and we ended up doing something special for you guys. So here, let me put this in the chat. Give me 1 second. I'm going to pause this. Give me one moment.
Go ahead. You work on that. And I just want to also just say, like, gosh, so many people are growing. So many good things are happening. Ali, Adrian Alvarado, him and his team, the Alvarado family, they've been crushing it. So many good things. Travis, so many people on here that have been with us and a part of the program. And forgive me if I have not shouted you out, because there's 31 people here, but I just want to say that everybody here that supports, everybody who's participated with us, you are going to go to the next level with your business. So super excited to see you guys here in a couple of weeks. Adrian, back to you with the wheel.
Spin that wheel. All right, guys, let's go. And we got Ali. Let's go.
Let's fucking go.
All right, dude. So you're going to be able to bring one of those people that you mentioned, one of those people. I know you're going to be giving this ticket away. So that is so cool of you. The fact that this is going to somebody in need, dude. So this is what we need. We need whoever is winning that ticket to post the event. They need to post it on their Facebook. They need to post it on their Instagram. They need to let everybody know that they're coming to the event. And if you guys have any questions, guys, please reach out to us. You can find Michael Zuber Instagram at one rental at a time. You can find at TY_LG. You can find Joe DeRaffaele as Joe D at Joe D Las Vegas, and myself, which is at Adrian Hernandez. You guys, if you got any questions, please reach out to us. We look forward to seeing you in August 11th, 12th. And for those of you that signed up for Diamond at the event, again, we have Diamond Premier that includes your room, which pays for itself. So we hope to see you there. We love you all. Zuber, Ty, Joe D, love you guys. Thank you. We hope to see you soon. Let's go.